Happy holidays, everybody. Today I'm going to show you how I paint winter waves in watercolor. Ooh, alliteration. Nice. My name's Sarah, and this painting is inspired by the beaches of Lake Michigan that I grew up visiting my whole life. Now I'm starting today by putting in some pencil lines where I want the sand dune to go, a line where I want the waves to start, and then a back horizon line that I promptly ignore completely. After I put in my guidelines, I'm wetting the entire paper. We're going to start with the sky and move down to the water. For the sky, I will be using indigo, ultramarine blue, and I'll be creating this kind of brown gray concoction for the wet sand on the beach. I also have some Prussian blue just to mix up the types of blue I'm using for the water and the sky. So I'm starting with, this new paint I got for my birthday. It's a Daniel Smith paint called Coral Reef. That is this beautiful, like peachy color. I'm putting that in on the horizon line because I want it to be kind of a sunsetty sunset landscape. And then instead of covering the entire rest of the sky, I'm swooping in some cloud shapes. I want it to be kind of like a blustery winter day with clouds, but then you can also kind of see the sunset on the horizon. The sand dunes I'm going to be putting in at the bottom, I actually want to be snow covered. So I'm putting in some like icy blue and purple colors while it's wet so that it doesn't accidentally look like sand. And I think I achieved it. I guess let me know if I didn't. Um, and then I'm making this like wet sand color as if maybe the tide's pulling out and we can see a lot of sand, but we also have water over it. I think that'll make sense later, hopefully. While things are wet, I'm putting in some of that Prussian blue mixture for the water. As I go back, I'm going to be making it darker and darker because as you go back in water, it's just less see-through. There's probably an atmospheric reason why, but there you go. I have a super dark mixture of this Prussian blue, and I'm using my mop brush to add in this color, maybe along the sides as well, and then just gradually get lighter as we get closer to the bottom. My horizon line is kind of wonky, and that guideline I put in at the beginning is like half an inch above where my horizon line ends up being. I was worried about that because I noticed it after this first layer had dried, and I was like, shoot, do I need to start over? I think it doesn't really show up when all is said and done. So we're just going to pretend it didn't happen. I'm putting some of that indigo gray color at the bottom of some of my clouds to kind of make them look a little bit stormier, a little bit more wintry. It's kind of cool in this orange. We're getting some tendrils coming down, like maybe there's some precipitation or it's snowing over the lake. That's kind of cool. When I'm painting skies, I really like using gravity to my advantage. So I'm putting in some of that gray at the bottom of some of these clouds to make it look like it's a little bit colder and more blustery. And the gravity really helps add in some precipitation, I guess. Let's get that hair out of there. Thank you. All right, the whole thing is dry. All right, what's she doing now? I'm using some blue to draw in very faintly where that water line's going to be. This is like the wave that has crashed over the beach and is kind of pulling back out. So it's like half sand, half water. And that will pretty much get covered up, but it's nice to know where I stop with my waves. So the next process is adding in some dry brush at the very top. These are waves way in the distance that are so small that they're just little speckles. And so when I'm painting waves in water, perspective is really going to be your friend here. So my dry brush technique I use on a lot of my paintings. I'm holding my brush pretty much um, parallel to, I was going to say perpendicular, that's the opposite. Holding it pretty parallel, horizontal against the paper so that we get a lot of drag from the bristles. And then I'm going in with my wave shapes. Um, in another video, I called them like worms with eyeliner. You'll see what I mean later. So I'm going in and starting thin, pushing down, going thicker, and then bringing it back up to be thin. The waves that are closer to me are going to be bigger. And then as I go back, they're going to be smaller and shorter, like thinner, you know? So I'm putting in these waves. I'm making sure they're not all stacked on top of each other, and I'm not letting them touch right now. And this is going to be a process of layering, layering, layering. So as I go back, you can see I sped this up because it's a lot of layers. But way back there, it's almost like Morse code. I'm just dotting in these little waves that end up looking like water. I'm filling in this area. I'm being careful not to have waves directly down at that water line because that wouldn't, I don't think that would make like sense with physics. And I want it to look pretty realistic. I'm fixing that horizon line. I'm not bringing it up to that original pencil line, but I'm at least making it straighter. Now that I have my worm shapes in, I'm going in with a liner brush and I'm giving eyeliner to the very tops of these waves. So it's a darker blue color and I'm adding in these thinner lines and they just become shadow on the water. So you can see as I'm putting this in, I'm starting by adding that eyeliner to the very top of the wave, and then I'm adding some ripply little details in between or lower on the wave if I want it there. And it starts to come to life. Again, this is like layer 3 of 5, I guess. But even though this is a pretty layered and kind of, I was going to say tedious, but it's not tedious. It's super fun to do. It's a lot of layers. But this entire painting, I was shocked. This entire painting, 37 minutes. Isn't that crazy? That doesn't include me using a blow dryer to dry my original wash. But yeah, it's like not that time consuming. So that's pretty cool. I'm going in with another layer of eyeliner that's even darker, and I am having fun building up these bigger waves that are kind of crashing over. And I'm really excited to add my white gouache to show kind of like a stormier sea. A sea. Is Lake Michigan a sea? I don't think so. Is it an inland sea? No, sea is saltwater. Lake Michigan is so beautiful and it's totally underrated in the winter. I mean, it's great to visit in the summer, but man, some of those shapes of the ice and the waves are just, man, it's like looking at the ocean, but freshwater and better beaches. I don't know. Don't come for me if I offended you by saying it's better than the ocean. I'm adding in some dry brush at this water line because I don't necessarily want it to be rippling waves. I want it to be water that's coming back out after it's crashed on the beach. So here we go, adding in some gray brown for some darker sand. And I'm making sure those pencil lines for where the sand dune is really light, but I'm making sure I'm not going over that because that's going to be snow. Okay, here's the thing. Lakes and oceans are different. Okay. I live in the Pacific Northwest, literally obsessed with the geography here. But I wanted to paint a wintry Michigan beach, Lake Michigan beach. There's just something so beautiful about the sand dunes and beach grass that's kind of poking up from the snow. And ooh, I'm adding in some blue to that sand too to give it kind of an icy look. That's cool. Maybe next I'll have to paint a winter, like ocean scene. I'm thinking of the most western part of the continental US is Cape Flattery on the peninsula. That would be a challenge. That would be pretty cool. I wonder what that looks like in the winter. I added in some more of that kind of wintry color to the snow area. And now I'm adding in my first layer of white gouache to be the waves and kind of froth of the water. This takes some building up as well. I end up using the white gouache straight from the tube because that just works way better to make things opaque. And then I'm using some dry brush for the very tops of these waves to make it seem like there are some white caps, and I really like how this turned out. I'm not doing this white on every single wave, but definitely the big ones. And then I'm dry brushing way back to add, just suggestions of the breaks in those waves way in the distance. This was my first time trying to add these little white cap things, and I didn't practice beforehand, so it was a little bit of a risk, but um, it's really cute. One thing I love to do when I'm painting water, especially on a beach, is after I add in that gouache for the froth or foam or whatever, I put in this like purpley gray shadow so that it's that immediately wet sand. And the effect is so good for how small a detail this is. It just really kind of makes it seem, I don't know, 3D. That's not it. It makes it feel like waves more. Adding in shadows is one of my favorite things to do with watercolor because it just really defines some different elements and it makes it feel real to me. I'm darkening some of that sand that's, wet and kind of reflecting some of that sky above it. I want to really emphasize that these dunes are covered in snow, so I'm adding some more of this white gouache, not over everything, but over some of the areas that maybe just seem a little too dull. All right. One of the last steps is to add in the beach grass. Now I'm using a brown here, even though in the summer I would use a green. I'm putting in these generally vertical wisps for these little bundles of grasses. I'm not trying to have each section be the same size or shape or direction. I don't want it to look fake or like, computer generated. I want it to look organic. And after I add in the general bundle areas, I'm going to go in with a thinner brush and wisp up some taller, thinner grasses. I'm making sure to do that area down there, which is like below this hill area, but still covered with snow. So I'm using my liner brush to flick upward. That's the trick. Start at the base and flick upward so that the top part of the grass is thinner than the base, even though it's everything super thin here. I really love how these grasses turned out. I do think it feels like snow, right? It doesn't feel like sand to me. And even if it does look like sand, it still feels wintry, like the color, using a lot of cool tones. And then I'm using that purpley gray at the base of all of these bundles of grasses for some wintry shadow. And I really think that just finishes it off really nicely. All right, everything's dry. We're taking the tape off. This is in my sketchbook. I am very pleased with it. What sort of areas do you like to visit in winter? Are there scenes that are particularly beautiful with the snow? If you live in the Pacific Northwest, are there any places I should visit that are really beautiful in the winter? Leave me a comment because I love taking a day trip. So let me know. Thanks for joining, everybody. Happy New Year. Bye.